to do now.
Edited to say.
I think I just ran into one of my 14-year-old turn-ons. Not a person, but like a concept that I was like really turned on.
Okay, so
by.
when you were 14, you would
Yeah.
get... Okay, all right.
And I don't know, I think it was...
That was...
That was...
Oh, that came... Yeah,
that was ambiguous for me.
Yeah, me too, actually, given the current political climate and me being a homosexual. But no.
Oh, my God.
Like, it was Vanilla Ice or something. I feel like that was the thing that I was, like, hella focused on when I was 14. I don't know, like, in my head or something.
As in the rapper?
Yes. I was, like, attracted to him.
What?
I feel like he was already pretty washed up by the time you were 14.
That was the spirit of anti-blackness creeping up through you.
It was.
It scared you away from the beautiful black man.
Well,
Stay woke.
I feel judged.
You should. I'm not gonna not. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna not judge you for
coddle us
that.
today.
I'm not.
Rhythm is not here to protect us today.
Like, look,
It's fine.
I didn't come here for
Not on
this.
Vanilla Ice. So anyway, we're three black femmes.
We are.
I am Rhythm Keen, and everybody else is silent.
Oh yeah, I'm Darryl the Griot. This is really, or Darryl. I don't think I've ever introduced myself that way, so I'm just there.
But you are a griot.
I am
feel
a
like it's
griot.
worth noting.
Okay, who's Darryl the Griot?
I'm Miriam the Trash or Nicolas Cage. I am without a nigga. Suddenly.
Let's touch hands.
Let's touch and agree.
Such an agree. That made me think of a reference. This is going to be the last time I point out any age differences ever.
Lies.
Okay.
I know, it's a lie. But it just made me think of one of my favorite characters in the history of television, and that's the trash heap. Nothing for anybody.
This was
Fraggle Rock.
I do. Okay. I remember. I know exactly what you're
So
talking about.
I have very specific memories around the trash heap because Fraggle Rock, I feel like, came on Disney or some other like.
It was Nickelodeon, no?
Because I had Nickelodeon.
Ooh.
Fraggle Rock came on a channel that I didn't have.
Nickelodeon was around?
I can't believe you.
Here's the thing. In my memory, I remember Nickelodeon getting there when I was a child. But, like, we was poor. So, like, whenever we would be able to afford things, then, like, I would be introduced to them and I would think they were new. So, like, I'm genuinely asking you to clear up for my poor ass. Was Nickelodeon around?
Yeah, no, Nickelodeon was around I remember when Nickelodeon started, I believe. So, like,
Okay.
mid 80s, maybe.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I thought it came out in 1995.
Oh, bless you.
Oh, no.
Poverty.
Word. We had to chip though. So
My grandma was like, look at this new thing. I got y'all some new shit.
You're welcome. So Fraggle Rock, it was like a Muppet-esque
Yes.
show. And there was a character called the Trash Heap. And like looking back now from like a feminist lens, it's probably terrible that I feel like the Trash Heap was a woman. But she also was like a boss and had like these little minions that like, you know, did her bidding.
It me.
But she was literally a heap of trash. And Fraggle Rock was always such a treat for me because, like I said, it was on some channel that we did. Like, Disney was extra, so I didn't have Disney. Like, I saw Disney when I went to my cousin's house because, you know, they had Disney. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it was either that channel or, like, I don't know, like HBO or something. Something we didn't have, but it wasn't Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon was, like, not basic cable, but, like, your basic package.
Basic cable?
Yeah, right.
I feel judged by basic cable.
I no longer have cable. I haven't had cable in years.
Does anybody even have cable anymore?
So I felt judged because I stopped having cable before I felt like that was like a popular thing. Yeah. I was just like, I thought I was an adult and could afford things, and I cannot.
Shocker plot twist.
So,
the Darryl Watson story.
This good Ion channel will have to get all this work.
For us, it was PBS. Oh my God. We would make fucking like, whatever it was, like The Joy of Cooking with like Julia Child. Is that? We would turn that into
Julia
like
Child.
Yeah, like me and like that was like feature length for me and my sisters.
Yes.
We would get pork rinds because we was those kids, and we would sit in front of this and like dissect this show because that was entertainment in those years where we had like no cable. All we had was antenna.
Yo.
It's okay because like now people voluntarily watch cooking shows, and you all were pioneers.
Yes, you were. Look
So,
at what you
like,
started.
Before Iron Chef.
I used to love pork rinds.
Me too.
I feel really
too.
gross looking back on like what that actually is.
What is it?
But they were yummy.
Still don't know.
Skin.
Is it pig skin?
Yeah, it's like pig skin. It's like
You know what I saw in the store when I was with my nephews in the hood that I used to live in? They sell bagged chicken skins. Okay, I feel like I'm not sure this reaction is his happiness or is...
So before I was vegan, I remember saying I wish that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing.
So you were in front of the trend.
But are they like pork rinds or is it like...
Yeah, but I mean, they're not
it's
like...
chicken.
It's chicken.
But is it the same like chippy kind of like consistency?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because the other thing I wanted to be a thing was just like fried, but like meaty. Like when you order fried chicken and you pull the skin off. Mm-hmm. I wanted that to also be a thing.
And it has like that little bit of like...
And I heard there's a place in Jersey where that is a thing. That? Yes. So if we ever hear in a later episode that I'm no longer vegan,
we will be in Jersey eating
that's what did it. Yeah.
We'll bring chicken skins with us instead of alcohol.
I think that's important. Speaking of which, our cocktail of the day. So we didn't really have a cocktail because Darryl is the only one who's like responsible and keeps us together on cocktails.
And I'm literally falling apart.
Listen,
me too. Falling apart club.
Yes,
hey.
Lives be in shambles. So instead, our Spaces team provided us with a shot of, I don't even know what that was. What was it? Sailor Jerry's rum, Yum. Right? Mm-hmm. It was tasty.
So take shots when you listen to this.
Yeah, that's our that's your recipe. You just you pour it out of the bottle into a glass.
You don't even need a glass.
You don't.
No.
Just take it to the head.
And you mix it with 1 part tears. This is now an interactive show. Cry and take shots.
Every time one of us laughs, know that we're crying inside and take a shot.
All right. I've always wanted friends to do that with, as opposed to usually.
And
Six sad world. Six sad world.
So I feel like we should go into our Black Joy of the day.
Amen.
Start with some joy because we don't know where it's going to end. So I'll start. And this is really funny because when I decided this earlier, I did not really think about my positioning in the studio, but my Black Joy of the day was the Black Panther trailer. And I say my positioning because I'm seated in front of this poster of Black Panther.
Yes.
It was meant to be.
It was.
Amen.
So yeah, the trailer came out. It's super black. It's super exciting. It's just yummy. I am enjoying, and I don't know how people who are like super into like comics feel about this, but like I'm enjoying this era of like bringing non-comic book fans into the fold. Yeah. So I just was never that kid. I feel like I was just like get a book, like a book, and like get Charlotte's Web and sit in the corner and read to myself kind of kid. So I didn't have video games. I didn't read comic books. Like I just wasn't cool. I don't want to talk about that anymore. Anyway, the trailer is super exciting. The film comes out in February. I'm really excited. I feel like it's going to be when Straight Outta Compton came out. Like, despite all of the controversy and, like, people's sort of really long think pieces about whether or not they were going to go see the film, I feel like theaters were, like, super packed and, like, super underprepared for how excited Black people were going to be about this film.
Yes.
And I think this is going to be that times, like, 1,000.
Absolutely.
So, the trailer was my Black Joy of the day.
I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but, like, somebody was circulating a church program for the viewing of Black Panther. So it's like it's like we bring the ushers down to before I let go. The benediction is swag surfing. Salmon cakes will be served.
Yes. No, I did not see that, and now I'm going to go look for it.
I'm trying to go to that function.
Yes.
I'm saving the trailer for like a special treat in the middle of the week when it's like in the middle, like a Wednesday or something.
Like a little pick me up or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I'll just smoke something, watch the trailer, and just like listen to Nina Simone afterwards.
That'll do it. That's a good plan.
Self-care.
Self-care. So, speaking of self-care,
did you say your joy? Oh, I'm sorry.
She's like, I was trying. If you would just let me have some joy for a moment.
A running theme. Miriam cannot have joy. I promise I'll lighten up. I probably won't. Spoiler alert.
It's fine.
It's fine. We're all dying. Anyway.
I mean, we are.
At different paces.
Jesus.
Anyway, my black joy of the day, of the week, of my life is Rico Nasty. For those of you who don't know who Rico Nasty is, she's a rapper from the DMV. And like, okay, first of all, I just want to say how important she is because I don't even acknowledge the DMV as a place.
I love it.
Okay, because I'm from Baltimore.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're an actual place. And I feel like the DMV was formed by Wale and friends for motherfuckers who are irrelevant and want to feel like they're from somewhere even though they're from PG County because they can't be like PG County. You know, like you say the DMV.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I just want to shout out to Rico Nasty because whereas Wale put DMV on the map for everyone else, Rico Nasty put it on the map for me personally. And she has this song. It's on the Insecure soundtrack, which is how I first heard it. It's called Poppin'. And it just goes hard as fuck.
Yes.
And it's honestly, that song and her other song called Key Lime OG are like two of the only shits getting me the fuck out of bed for the past 2 weeks. Like, she has a line in Poppin' where she's like, everything is lovely, everything is sunny, I don't need your money, bitch, I got my own money. And I'm like, ooh.
Yes. That's like Negro spiritual level of like.
Didn't that shit hit you?
Yes,
like,
in your spine.
Like, she has a line in Key Lime OG where she's just like, walk up in the ring, who my fucking rival, nigga, fuck that, go get the rifle. And I'm like,
Yes.
ooh, that's poetry.
Yes.
So yeah, my black joy is Rico Nasty, and I don't know if that speaks to like the tenacity of black femmes always being able to get me out of the bed, or my own latent anger and a need to express that through the music I listen to.
I mean, or both.
Yes.
Por qué no
both
los
and.
dos?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think my black joys are my nephews and nieces. Oh my God. It's like a village of them. And they all, one thing I love about kids, and I know that some people don't think this, but I think like kids are like born whole. Like they are born who they are, and all they do in life is just grow into that bigger. I know that there's some people who think like kids are almost like empty and you got to pour stuff into them.
Yeah.
Like you can pour in, but they are who they are. So these kids have fucking personality.
Yes.
And I'd like to have relationships with them where they're very much as peer as you can be with like a 7-year-old, but definitely still like as a peer. Like I'm going to talk to you like you have respect.
Yes.
And you will in turn give me the same thing.
Yes.
So it's like you ask me a question. I don't like lying, period, but I specifically don't like lying to kids. So if you ask me a question, I will give you an answer that's as age appropriate as possible.
Yes.
And when I do fail, all of my sisters yell my name to tell me to stop. But like all week, like I've been seeing them so much. And it is so beautiful to see like little black girls having fun, like in Chuck E. Cheese. It was in Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes.
They were eating pizza, which it tastes nothing like it did when I was a kid, which was sad.
So I have questions about that because I always wonder, does that mean like are your tastes grew up, or did the actual pizza change? And we'll never know.
We'll never know.
That pizza was good as shit when
It
I was a kid.
was.
But then you get like... You have to like. I
Papa
liked all
John's
pizza.
was also good as shit when I was a kid, so I
don't
can't
think
trust
had
me.
Papa John's when I was a kid.
You can't trust me.
We had George's. We had like hood pizza joints. But hands
Rico's. Malik's.
I would eat anything from Malik.
Oh, okay.
I would,
Chuck E. Cheese.
yes, Chuck E. Cheese, and it was dope. It was really dope. I was excited because I won a whole bunch of tickets for my nephews. I was really disappointed because the Chuck E. Cheese toys have gone downhill. So I feel like when we were younger, they actually had toys.
Yeah.
So this time you needed like 4,000 tokens for a Tootsie Roll.
You know what?
And I was just like, it was $30 for 100 tokens.
Yeah.
I could have just spent like $5 and bought you all the Tootsie Rolls.
Right.
You could have wanted for the rest of the week.
Right.
But I think that's a part of like parenting. That's it. That's my
It's like you get them
That's
the things,
beautiful.
then they get to earn it, and they get to see like this is how like earning for reward works, mini capitalism.
Except,
like it's great.
It's well for me though. I love spoiling black kids.
Yes.
I really love spoiling black kids. And then especially over like the big stuff I can't do because they ain't my kids. But like like my nephew was like, he really is into robots, and I was like, they sell robot kits, and he was like, can we have a robot kit? It's like, why the fuck can't we have 3?
Yeah, right. Yes.
Like, he came over once, and I was like, I want to transform my entire apartment into a fort. And we literally transformed my entire apartment into this fort. And we were just living under the fort for the weekend, eating raw cauliflower with ranch, because that was his favorite thing.
Oh my God, I want to come to Uncle Darryl's house.
Yeah, same.
Come on, I'll build a fort.
That's so beautiful.
I need a fort.
I saw a kit today, and so I guess we'll get into this during the topic later, but I was like on this mission online, and I, in the course of that mission, ran into a subscription box for kids to learn coding.
Ooh.
So my nephew takes a coding class. He's 5.
This is beautiful.
I know. And so this had nothing, like I just stumbled upon this
He's
thing. I mean,
already my hero.
of course I sent it to his mom, but so I can't remember the name of it. And I mean, they're not paying us anyway, so whatever. But it's like, it's like a subscription box. So it's like monthly. The kid gets like instructions on like how to do or build or code something. And then they can connect on their computer or smart pad to this app that like, so I don't know, coding stuff, science, math, and computer stuff. But I was like, oh my God, little kids
cool
and
as
coding.
hell.
I know.
That's so cool.
I'm about to buy it for myself.
Look,
I like stuff.
I'm gonna just give up. I don't know computers. I'm gonna just resign.
I mean,
But you know the boomerangs and Twitters and stuff.
I do know the Twitters and stuff, but that's only because I'm a narcissist. I need my validation.
I did see a study where they were talking about like how much more intuitive, like basically like the younger you are, say in 2017, how much more intuitive those sorts of things are for you. Almost like, you know, when you're like 4 or 5, it's much easier for you to learn a language than when you're like 35.
Yeah.
Technology and the way that things are set up now, like, and it's the reason why you can see like a 2-year-old that can figure out how to get to your games on your phone that they've never seen before. It's because
cool
all of that's just like really intuitive for them, as opposed to those of us who sort of like have half of our life in a period of time where that stuff didn't really exist, and then the other half is like, I've learned how to, and then you know, the older that you get was where you have like your parents hitting you up about something on Facebook, and it's like, that's why you shouldn't be on Facebook, girl.
And you know, like, I think I've come full circle at this point. Like, I can't grow anymore, because I remember I started out with the black and white, like, thick Nokia phone, like the brick looks like something that broke off the Sputnik Nokia phone. And I was like, you know, the only game that was on there was Snake. And
I
was
miss
just
Snake.
playing
I love Snake.
Right?
Snake is
was
an OG.
lit. And here's how I've come full circle. Guess what the fuck I just downloaded
Yes.
on my
Yes, you did.
on my fucking
Yes, you
iPhone
did.
6,
Yes, you did.
iOS 11. I played
They
the
have
shit out of
Snake?
Snake. I'm playing the shit out of it.
I
Like,
need
yes.
that.
like,
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm doing as soon as we get done.
so like growth is done. Growth
I didn't
is
know
over.
that was a
Growth.
thing.
I've gone as far as I can possibly.
Ooh, I miss Snake. That's so lit. That's my new Black Joy of the day. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna go find. Is it just called Snake?
The one I have is called Snake versus Block.
Yes.
So like, right, it goes super fucking hard. Like you can get. This is boring. I know. I'm like, oh no, now everyone knows what an actual boring nerd I am.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna
It's
download
okay.
it.
It's whatever. But no, download Snake versus Block. Really, it's like fucking lit. They're
That's
not paying.
beautiful.
They're not paying us.
They're not
but-
paying us. It's fine. We're gonna edit that out.
Yeah.
We're not, but whatever. That's actually just like. Anyway, so our topic of the day.
We need a little theme song.
We do. That's not that. Our topic of the day
Can Solange sing it?
is.
Can she
Oh, that
sing
would be
everything?
dope.
Can she just like in her little scales voice? Just,
Yes. Speaking of which, the artist who's on Scales, I don't know how to say her name. It's like Kalila or Kalila, or she just dropped a project, and I have to be very honest and say I haven't finished it yet. But the first single that I heard from it made me like hurry up and go download it to listen to it. It's really good.
I haven't started it yet.
The song that I like, who am I kidding? I can't tell you the name of it, but it sounds like Pleasure Principal Janet Jackson, but in 2017.
I would love to hear this.
It is yum.
I'm sold.
It's yum. Actually, I'm going to try to look for it.
Speaking of Janet, that's my fucking Black Joy of the day. You know what? Goddamn it.
Just
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of Janet Jackson, when I was not single, I asked my partner, because I saw that Janet tickets were on sale in Philly. And I asked, I was like, oh my God, babe, like let's go see Janet Jackson. And Shorty replied, no, thank you.
Oh.
So I should have known, right?
That's when you were supposed to know.
That was when I was supposed to know.
I'm sorry.
Like that was the universe being like,
Red
hey
flag.
girl,
Yeah.
hey girl, run away.
Yeah.
So yeah, like what happened. I ended up single. You know what the first fucking thing I did?
Yes.
I'm going to go see Janet Jackson, bitch. I bought my
know
ticket.
that's
As you
right.
fucking should.
Yes.
That should have been the first course of action.
I'm going to scream till I get lonely, and then I'm gonna fuck a stud I just met that night.
Fucking should. That's therapy.
Yes.
So
Speaking of therapy,
so the topic for today, I don't think I ever completed that sentence, is self-care and healing.
yes.
So I'm sorry, I was trying to find that song, but I found it and I don't think that's what it is. Altadena by Kalela.
That sounds like a microwave meal.
Look, so I think that's the right song, but even if it's not, just listen to the whole project.
Get them Altadenas out the cabinet.
Look, but they probably
wake you on up.
bang.
You so damn hungry.
Look, but like if you hook them up with like some salt and pepper and some hot sauce.
Them Altadenas go.
Nigga.
That's like I promise I'm not gonna do this all night, but Big Crit, one of my favorite artists, his song Booby Miles, which is one of my favorite songs, he has a lyric where he says, because anything's better than Viennas and warm grits. First of all, if you're Southern, you do say Vienna and not Vienna.
I was about to be like, what the fuck is
Yeah, we said
Vienna?
Viennas. We didn't say Vienna.
Y'all,
Whatever.
That's a different world.
Judge somebody else.
the South is another universe.
There really is.
It's funny because I remember explaining that lyric to somebody and they were like, that's what he's talking about? I'm like, yes, Viennas, whatever.
It's like
The
a
South is
brand
something
of
else.
grits. I was like, okay, fancy ass
No,
grits.
but it's the sausage, Vienna
yeah, yeah.
sausages. But when the first time I heard the lyric and he said anything's better than Vienna's warm grits, and I'm like, wait a minute now. I'm assuming you were raised on Viennas and grits just like I was, and it was fine.
That's it. That shit sounds lit.
You enjoyed it, and your grandma probably hooked it up.
You know what about the South? Like, because there's this whole thing where like white people can't season food, and I agree. I stand by that from my experience. But I think that's specifically northern white people.
It
Yes,
is.
it is.
It is.
Because me and my niggas went down to Texas.
Yes.
Not too long ago for a little competition or whatever, and we were like, oh man, they're not gonna have seasoned food. But they were like, wait, no, it's the South. And somebody, I forget who, they were like, well, why is it that Southern white people can season food and Northern white people can't? And I don't remember saying this, but it just sort of slipped out. I was like, because they just stopped owning slaves like 10 years ago.
Oh, the accuracy.
They still got those recipes.
Yes.
They just freed their last
Stole it all.
slave.
Look.
And had him cook dinner before he
If
left.
we get down there
Right.
quickly enough,
Yeah.
we can
Right.
see Ezekiel sneaking up fast.
Season up these pork chops before you go.
It's crazy because I'm finding now, and this is like really on topic, I'm finding now that as I get stressed, my craving for meat increases. And so
Tell us about it.
Yes.
I guess I mean that in multiple ways.
Yes.
Because on the one hand, I was doing something and it was a picture of a pork chop, and I really had to pause. I stopped. I was like, oh, pork chop.
I might could.
Yeah. And then I'm also having a lot of sex. So
Yes.
it's the both end.
Yes.
There's a nasty explanation and a biological explanation for that.
Oh,
I
you
feel
know
like you
them?
should offer them all.
Yeah, okay. So for anxiety,
Yeah.
therapy gang. When you have really bad anxiety, your body craves protein and you need that protein. Or you're stressed and sad and you fucking to placate it. So I'm gonna go with that one.
No, I think it's both. I think this is a semicolon situation.
Yes,
Yes.
and.
Yeah. Ooh. Pork chops and dick.
Pork chops and dick.
That's the title of my
I think-
first
I guess
single.
we got the episode
No, I think
title.
that's the title of the episode. You got.
We got the episode
You
title.
got. You could try to make that your first single if you want to. We're going to sue you.
The title is Pork Chops and Dick.
Yes.
You got that, producer?
But it's real though. It's real, and I don't know what it was. And I'm serious. Like I saw this pork chop and I started to fantasize, and then immediately my fingers was on Jack. Like who's around?
Yes.
Not because I wanted them to like cook a pork chop, but I
See,
wanted
that would
them
have been
to
my fantasy.
have them cook a pork chop.
Come handle this pork chop. Then come in. So,
Yes.
when is even the last time you've had a pork chop?
20 years ago.
Wow.
Wow.
Like yeah. It's real. It's real, but I think that's what it is. I think it's the protein. I think it's the reminder of home too, because anytime I'm really feeling, even though my childhood home was not like white or idyllic at all, it's still home. So anything that reminds me of that, so it's like spaghetti, pork chops, high blood pressure, like
Yes.
DL niggas.
You're like, this feels comforting.
It does. Like, what's that smell in the air? It's like
Is that
regret.
the good time thing?
Right. Scratching and surviving. Listen, so I think also for like I have not had a pork chop craving in a very long time. I think it's been almost as long for me since I've had maybe 17 years since I've had pork. But specifically with pork chops, so that for me, that is a connection to my mom. My mom used to fry pork chops. My mom does not cook anymore because she's just almost 70 and refuses, which I enjoy that. Like, she stands by that.
Yes.
Like, there's no like, oh, baby, come over, let me cook for you.
Mom.
She's done her cooking.
She's like, I don't do that anymore.
Yes, Mom.
So there is that connection, but also I think just like, there is something biological about the craving of like fat and like fried things and grease and like, and I don't know any of the science behind that, but I know it's a thing. And I know it's like what we're like conditioned and programmed to like cling to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why you don't ever, you're not ever sitting around and get a craving for like fresh string beans. Like, you're like, I want biscuits.
Like,
I
Often
want
like a light olive oil.
right.
Is that the leftover slave in us, or am I reaching?
Is that what?
Is that the leftover slave in us, or am I reaching?
I mean, who's to say?
Who can say?
Because like when people do studies on like intergenerational trauma and like stuff being imprinted on the DNA of like rats that like you have tested, like that's real.
So why
like,
can't it be real for us?
right?
It's true.
Especially because the trauma was so real, and the trauma lives out in. I feel like it lives out in every aspect of our existence here. So why wouldn't it enter into our eating and our fucking and all that other
every
stuff?
aspect.
Yes.
Like, not to say that it creates it, but it definitely conditions it. It definitely like flavors it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's real.
That's a concept.
Our work here is done.
You can give me my PhD.
Thank you.
Earned it.
So when I was talking earlier, so one of my, so Darryl,
Yes.
because Darryl is great.
I love the sentence. I love how it starts. Go ahead.
Darryl sent me a message yesterday. Like I don't know what we were talking about, like nothing important. And Darryl said something to the effect of like, your voice is quiet or quieter lately. Is everything okay?
Noticeably quiet. Yeah.
Noticeably quiet. I was like, you're so deep and romantic. So I was like, actually, my life is in shambles. Thanks for checking. And my life actually isn't in shambles, but I am like super stressed because I'm moving.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think I knew that was stressing me out, but I didn't realize how much, and I didn't realize it was like noticeable from the outside. But Darryl's all deep and perceptive. Anyway, so he was like, well, what can you do for yourself today? And my first thought was, I don't know what kind of self-care I can engage in today that doesn't involve me spending money, which would just stress me out because I'm moving.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what do I do? So I ended up like searching through a bunch of subscription boxes because I love those. This was not a solution to not spending money. But I was like, it's just a little bit of money. It's just like, it's fine.
Not much.
It's fine. I'll just, so I was at least disciplined enough that I didn't sign up for anything, but I found a couple of subscriptions. So I subscribed to a makeup subscription. I used to subscribe to a natural hair box before the last time I shaved all my hair off. I think those are the only two I have. But so I found a wine one. I know.
I'm Jelly Belly.
So they ask you like a series of like questions that are to like get your taste, but the questions aren't about wine. So like they ask how you take your coffee, and they ask like, how much salt you put on food, and like
This is cute.
5 cute little questions. And then
That I would totally
like
be
my
on guard
dates don't
for if it
even
was a
take
date.
that.
No, if someone asked me that shit on a date, I would be like,
Why?
"Right." Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
what
Why
do
you
you
wanna
want to
know?
know?
I feel like my dates don't even take that level of care with me.
look,
Like,
Nigga.
so
this wine subscription could get it.
right. So the wine bottles come out to, I think it's like $13 to $15 per bottle.
That's beautiful.
It's a monthly subscription. And they ask you, so it's 4 bottles, and they ask you what combination of red and white you want. So you could get all red, all white. You could get 3 white. So what I ended up doing was 3 white, 1 red, because I prefer white. But I was like, I want to taste some stuff, and this will be a cute way for me to like taste red wine. I didn't sign up. I'm still trying to be responsible, but I did bookmark it because
I feel like you should just do it.
I feel like you got to send me the link and we'll take the plunge together. And
I'll join in.
Yes, we'll call it a business investment,
Yes.
and we'll just bring the bottles.
Yes.
and do the episodes that way. Just
That's
finish
beautiful.
off a bottle.
I could easily make that work.
So that's done.
Talents include justifying drinking.
Put that on your resume.
It's real though. I feel like and I'm going to get like new age frou-frou, but I really do feel like it's something about the fall that signals a lot of life cycle.
Yes.
And so, and I've always found that the case. Like when the fall happens, I always see it's like an uptick in folks that I know who die. And if it's not like an actual physical death, it's a death of a relationship or something else. But it's just like the earth starting to reset itself. And again, that's like new age and frou-frou. And I also go to a new age frou-frou church. So maybe this is like a part of it. But I think it's something just like very, very like the rhythm of life. Because most people that I am close to right now are going through just like life-defining moments.
Yes. You know, it's some wild ass shit. My best friend was telling me that like her mother is like one of them like spiritual real black ass like motherfuckers who like know way more than me.
I want to be one of those people.
Yes,
Same, but I also don't. I also am burdened by what I know now.
It's enough.
And would like to eventually get stupider and drunker.
Yes.
Go ahead.
But my best friend was saying that her mom said to her actually that we're going through a rebirth right now. Just the universe is going through a rebirth, and all of this weather, all of these like floods and hurricanes and shit is the water breaking. And I was like, whoa.
I don't think I'm ready for that.
Right. I was like, holy hell. And also I was high as shit when she fucking texted me that. And I was like, oh, bitch.
Wait.
Oh, bitch. Wait.
That's some real stuff though.
But did y'all see that picture? I mean, it was like a graphic of, and this is like super teppy, but it was a graphic of like where all these like hurricanes start from. But it was painted as like quote unquote Mother Africa, like blowing these winds, and it's like they start from there and blow into the United States. Like, you gonna pay for what you did? That tripped me out. I was like, I don't even know if this is like accurate, but it's scary.
But it's good to know that the motherland is petty.
Right? And let's move.
Petty, yes.
And so maybe our pettiness is our ancestral memory.
Yeah.
Just coming through.
I feel like it should be. Yes.
Maybe every time I publicly drag a nigga, it's just my ancestors being like, someone has to say something, you intervene right
Yes.
now.
I know that's the truth.
This is your calling.
You know, I love Avatar, The Last Airbender. And so I think that all black people easily are avatars. And when it's time for a good read, we just go into avatar form. We pull shit from the family tree. We pull shit from like Hattie Mae, from like Kunta, all the way up to like future versions.
I
and
have known my grandmother to bloodbend, okay?
Nigga.
So I have a question. Avatar, that's the one with Aang. So I need to go finish that because
the movie? Or
the show.
Okay, yeah.
So I started it as an adult, like, I don't know, last summer or something. Because the person I was dating was like, I don't know how this isn't a part of your life. You have to watch it. And I was like, okay. And then we broke up and I stopped watching it. And I forgot until you said that. I'm like, oh.
There are so many things I stopped because of a breakup.
That's
like,
real.
Listen.
But there's so many things I guess I start because of relationships too.
There's so many. You know what? I'm trying to focus more so on the things that I'm starting.
Yes.
Of a breakup.
Hell yes.
What am I starting?
Yes.
Demanding shit.
That's right.
Let's talk about that.
Like,
I'm sorry. I'm cool.
No, go off.
That's self-care.
So I went and I posted about him on Facebook. I went on this date with this Virgo. I love Virgos.
I was going to say, don't disparage us. Hush.
I warned you.
I'm going to put that out there on the front end. I love Virgos. I'm also put on the front end. Virgos are great, but every Virgo I know has been difficult for me.
Not me.
I'll take and tell
Yes, not you yet.
The dragon. Okay, fine, whatever.
But in beautiful ways. So, and I'm not chalking this up to the fact that he's a Virgo, but that's how I just identified him. This gorgeous guy, older than me, which is like new because I generally have not in the past really dated guys who are older. So we go out on a date, and I thought it went completely great. And I think by objective accounts, it went really, really good. Then he came over, and maybe a week later, he came over. We chilled, was on the couch, just listening to music. Had a whole Jill Scott, walk in the park type of moment.
Yes,
just really comfortable. And maybe a week after that, I'm like, yo, let's plan for another date. I didn't know the word date could be a trigger. So it triggered something, and it was 3 or 4 text messages back and forth about his demons.
Oh.
And then and I'm like, but when it got to the point of exactly what you said, for me, it's always I've learned so many core parts of who I am through that rough shit. So it's even to the point where it's at this point, I'm 32 years old. I don't have the time to be hanging out with dude. We can date. We can do that, but I'm not hanging out with you.
Right.
At this point, I have friends, baby.
Yes.
Right.
And I
choose
my friends. And I choose my friends.
Right.
And I also choose my dick. And then
yes.
And I've chosen you. okay. I've chosen you.
You have been chosen.
Handpicked, nigga. Handpicked.
Yes. But I didn't and I spent maybe a couple hours trying to decipher, trying to understand where is this about? And then at some point I stopped. I was like, dude, just find somebody else to fuck with. And I did, but I don't know where that comes. That's some shit.
Yes.
He was like, well, what do you mean we went on a date? I was like, that was
you know what?
Exactly.
See, and the shit is that nigga knew you went on a date and was just gonna be like, I'm gonna just play it off.
Okay.
Right.
I'm gonna just act like, nigga, ain't nobody stupid.
And the thing with me is it's okay with me. Right. I'm a big kid. It's okay. It's just weird though.
Just use your big boy words.
And then it also flies in the face of I think the mythology of it, the idea that and I don't know if this is real for y'all, but it's definitely been real in my life with a lot of my friends, a common breakup kind of the shit that people tell you after breakups that, nonsense shit. All you have to do is just anything that starts like that is all bullshit.
Yes.
But it's this idea he's this perfect person's out there just waiting for you, and you just gotta work on yourself and fix it.
I hate that.
Shit.
I hate that. I hate that.
Yes.
I hate that. That whole you gotta love yourself first. I hate it.
What the fuck does that even mean?
I hate
What does that
it.
mean?
I don't know.
How do you define how much I love myself?
Why are you assuming?
And then why is the marker of you actually loving yourself you finding a
Right.
quote unquote good man?
Right.
Why is the measuring stick of your life
hold
a
on,
quote
baby.
unquote good man?
Right.
When I get to where I need to be, when I love myself enough, bitch, I won't need you.
Nigga.
So
That's some real shit. What can't you do for yourself right now? Even if it's you can order sex.
Yes.
go puff.
Yes, go puff.
Go suck.
Yes.
But it really is. That's what I love.
That's
why I
copyrighted.
love
Don't try
we
to
live in the
steal it.
future. You can literally order. You can order dick. You can just go on and just be you can set your criteria.
Yes.
And then you pick the dick and then it comes to you.
I just feel
On you.
Yes. I don't know. So as a person who is mid-30s and who until very recently was single, and who I'm a serial monogamist, so I'm single often. It's fine, whatever.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Thank you. I find myself in a position where people keep trying to give me well-meaning advice, and I'm not a person who even asks for advice when I need it. So any advice that you just gave me was most likely unsolicited. But yeah, people often I feel like people address my relationship patterns as a problem, and so they're volunteering their services to try to fix it. And that is a thing that they often go to is the right person, and if you just work on yourself and love yourself. I'm first of all, no.
Yeah.
First of all,
Right.
I do love myself, a lot.
And this ain't a deficit of love. This ain't
It's
what this
not.
is.
I just also would like to have somebody help me carry all these bags of groceries up the stairs. Separately, if I didn't love myself enough, what?
And to
Then
be
why don't
fair,
I deserve
I know
that?
lots of people who don't love themselves not one bit. and they are in relationship. That's not
that
how those two things work.
And if we gonna talk about it, the people who have loved me best have had the most trouble loving themselves.
Yes.
Like I've had people who are neurotypical come to me and be like, well, like I just feel like, the problem is because, like for vocab check, like if you don't know what neurotypical means, it's people who don't presently experience mental illnesses. But
we still need that glossary page.
Yeah, we do. Two people actually told me that.
Neurotypies. But anyway, so yeah, I've had neurotypies come to me and be like, well, I just feel like, you need help and you unstable. First of all, the people who have come to me in my time of need and really come through have been people who I've walked off the ledge. Like the people who really, really struggle with their mental health and struggle with their their sense of self-worth have been the ones who have been like, come through because they know what the fuck it's like. And at some level, when people try to give you that advice, they tell you to try to, find that strength. It's because they see themselves in some delusion of grandeur. They think they've got it figured out and they're like, I know enough to tell you. But my whole thing is, baby, if you ain't struggled, you don't know how you can survive.
Right.
So you don't know that you're a survivor until you have survived. So don't tell me about strength. I'm gonna turn to my friend who's had to walk off, who's had to step down from the ledge. Don't try to tell me about that shit.
Yeah.
And on so many levels, it's such a myth, this idea of having it together. It's not to say that there are not moments where it all feels together, but I feel like it is this mythic thing that we all teach each other to strive to, that this is perfect stage where you have this moment where it's all together. And then you can live this perfect life thereafter. And it's I don't know anyone who has it all together as if it's this house you can build and it's always there.
Right.
I feel like it's a constant day by day dance.
Absolutely.
So it's some days it's I have it all together and I can do these things. And then other days it's I have it all together and I'm going to stay in bed because staying in bed is exactly what I did.
Yes.
And the strongest I felt is when I've known those days. It's when I've known, listen, today's a day where I can't do it. And that's not me admitting defeat. That's me being I know me enough to know what I need.
Yes.
Because the moments I've been in crisis is because I ain't know.
And you know what?
What to do with me.
It took muscle kind of it took, I don't know, working out for me to know that about myself. Know when my body's telling me no, it's time that we actually shut this down and the world's going to do what the world's going to do, but you need to
chill out.
Yeah. And it's taken me, I think, shit, I'm 32. I feel like I'm just learning that since last Tuesday. Because it's so much tied into I don't know, the idea for me at least of being productive. And I think that's also a part of my boy training. And this idea that you can do it all and you can you're like a Jeep, you're wear and tear. And if you are fucked up, just keep going at it. And, and that has always been a recipe for a cataclysmic failure for me. But so the ability to, even this morning, literally I got up and I was this is one of those days where I am not going into work. I'm going to lay it right back down, lay with my kittens.
Bless you.
See what the sex apps are offering.
Yes.
I ordered something to eat for the first time in I think maybe 2 weeks.
Yes.
And I was just okay, I'm gonna live in this.
Yes. And you have to do that. And I think the thing that irritates me about people who, and I mean, again, it goes back people who can't respect that or people who haven't learned to do that for themselves.
Exactly.
Yes.
So there's this restaurant in Philly that I go to often for events. And the only reason I'm not shouting them out is because they're not paying us.
Hello.
Right?
Hashtag pay us.
Hashtag. So this particular event, I hadn't reserved the right kind of ticket to get a table, so I knew I was going to be at the bar, which meant I needed to go early because only 4 of the bar stools have backs.
Yes, I love your 30s decision making.
Look.
You are speaking to me.
Look,
yes.
And so I know for myself, I am not going to last hours in a seat that doesn't have a back. And so it just bothers me that I could say that to somebody and that totally makes sense and that's okay. And you understand that.
Yeah.
But let me say something that is the same kind of foresight and care for my mental well-being. And that just doesn't compute.
No.
You don't understand me taking a mental health day for work because that is lazy or that's
say it. It's
you
all
know,
that. Say it.
And I'm how is that different than me making sure I get a chair with a back?
People are afraid of taking care of themselves because ultimately they're afraid of being asked out of a way to survive. Because capitalism has taught us that,
Absolutely.
if we don't take like if we ever take the time to take care of ourselves, then like we're not going to survive because the money is more important than us. So they looking at it like this, like you taking care of yourself, then what the fuck is you doing? You must not be making money. You must not be doing this, that, and the third. But listen, baby, I'm gonna take care of my motherfucking self.
Look, first and foremost, I also just want to shout out how black of a phrase this, that, and the third is. Or at least my connection with it is really black. Like I'm trying to think, like
black for me.
Yeah, oftentimes when I hear names, last names, and there are like studies about this, but I haven't read them. I don't like to actually read them. I just read the headlines, whatever.
Millennial,
but like last names that that aren't African, but that are typically black people's names, right? So like. If I think of like all the people that I know with the last name Sullivan, in the South anyway, they're all black. So like I just always pay attention to like little random things like that. I don't remember how I ended up down this path. What were we talking about? So this, that, and the third. So sometimes I'll hear a phrase and I'll think to myself, like, have I ever heard a white person say this, that, and the third?
I feel like a part of our glossary, we should also add a section to our website where, we do some white testing, some just like some white crowdsourcing and just like test them, give them words with no context and just see if they like can regurgitate back to us. Like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
We have to start by at least some of us having white friends who don't know any other black people.
So that's the trick.
The challenge.
I don't have like all of my white friends. Like I would have no way of knowing if they know that because of like I don't have those like I don't have white friends for whom I'm their one black friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no way. So it has to be like stranger white people.
You in danger, girl. That sounds scary.
It really did. Yeah. I had like a flashback to a Klan rally. I've never been to a Klan rally. That's exactly where my mind went.
Oh, but you have.
It's called Penn State.
Look, listen.
Have I told you? I feel like I've told you about the gay bar that I went to in that area. Yeah. I wish I could remember the name of it, but my friend who dragged me into that place just sent me a text the other day. He's like, remember that time we met? And I'm like, yes, I was afraid for my life.
And it's only, I feel like when I was there, it was only like really 2 gay bars. But the thing is, they change names like every like 4 years.
Yeah.
So that way every like generation of gays, like it was the same exact bar, but in like the same exact layout, but the name just changed and like
name.
the persona changed.
I was so confused in this place because it was very much like a redneck bar. But it was like, it was the gay bar. And so...
I feel like it's like, you're talking about Chumley's, I think, or...
Maybe.
They're not paying us.
They also don't exist anymore, I don't think.
He was so excited that like we had found the gay bar and I was like, I do not feel safe here.
No.
I am only here because I don't want you here by yourself.
Yes.
Let us not stay long.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really, and I mean, we were clearly, you know how you walk into, oh my God.
That threw me off when I first went. I'm like, redneck plus gay.
What is happening?
Yeah. And it really is redneck and gay.
It really is. And you could tell like separately from us being 2 brown people walking into this space. Because there were like, a chocolate drop or 2 up in there. Separate, and they definitely were looking at us like,
of course they were.
This is my spot.
Who you? Well, that's because when you're up there, every black person, every other black person.
Right.
So when it's a new black person, like, oh, where you come from?
Right. So that's what I was going to say. Separate from us being brown people walking into this space, there was this notion, like, we didn't look like we belonged there. So they're like trying to figure out. It was just so much going on.
Yes. And I couldn't feel comfortable in that kind of space.
I did not.
No.
I felt like I was his bodyguard. And I don't know who ever wants me as a bodyguard.
I feel like if you reacted to somebody on my behalf the way you reacted to those kids, you understand, then I would be just fine. Look, I would feel super secure.
Word.
With Rhythm as my bodyguard.
Yeah. So being a smaller person and always being a smaller kid, like I was like a runt as a child. So I have that like little person sort of like front. Like so like I front like I'm like scrappy. I can't fight. But I can make you think I can fight.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's more important.
Enough. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever told anyone I can fight. I feel like they just assume because of the way I talk and like how tall and big I am that like I could fuck a nigga up. Yeah, and they're not wrong. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say that they're wrong in that assumption, but like I've never had to say, like one time one of my friends was like, you know what, Miriam, I've never actually seen you fight. And I was like, because I haven't fought since 2009. And he was like, but the threat is enough. Yes. And I was like, that's exactly where the fuck I want to be.
That's all you need.
That's where I want to be.
You need. Fighting is self-care. So anyway.
Yes,
no, self-defense as self-care.
Yes.
As a black femme in this country,
yes.
I'll fuck a nigga up.
Look,
as you
listen.
should.
You know, that look actually saved me from being robbed in Chicago. I always forget about this because I like to just block it out. This was like, look, maybe 3 years ago. I was in Chicago, and I have family in Chicago, but I was there for a conference with a colleague, and who happens to be white, and we were like, we're walking trying to find food, and this is like somebody I'm friends with. Who also wouldn't qualify as someone who could like test out our glossary. But anyway, we're walking to get food and we pass a couple places like from the hotel and I'm like, we should go here, we should go here, we should go here. And she's doing this like white girl from West Philly thing where she's like, let's walk a little further. And I'm like, girl, it's dark.
Yeah.
And walking.
Look, but somehow I like absorbed like her white privilege in that moment.
Yes.
Like it was like a cloak.
Yes.
And I was like, yes, we can keep walking in this city that we don't know.
In the dark.
In the dark. So we walk up and it was like a scene out of like Michael Jackson's The Way You Make Me Feel video. Like we just walk up and there's like this like group of guys. And they essentially tried to rob us, right? But they like... It was like they surrounded, like we walked up to the group and then this other guy appeared from somewhere behind us. And so I turned and circled and made eye contact with him and just looked at him like, I have a blade.
Right.
And so he like motioned to the guys on the other side, like, never mind. And so we kept walking.
Yes.
And she like immediately freaked out and was like, oh my God, we almost got robbed, blah, 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 blah. And I just had this sort of, I guess I had like a fight or flight kind of thing going on. Yeah. And I didn't really like realize the magnitude of what almost happened until we finally made it to the restaurant that was right next door to the hotel that we should have gone to in the first place. But I say that to say like in that moment, that was like, I did not actually have a blade. So I was like, let me look at you like, you know, at least, because my mom used to always say, like that if someone like if like a stranger like assaulted her on the street, like you might hurt me, but I'm gonna hurt you going down.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And if that's not a metaphor for life,
come on.
That's the whole. That is life lesson.
Look,
listen. It's not even about winning. It's about surviving and fucking that nigga up on the way down.
On the way down.
And those are two different. And I love that distinction. It's not about winning. It's about surviving.
Yes.
Fucking that nigga on the way down.
Like
always on the way down.
I love how. Pause for the cause because Darryl took out up. He was like, just fucking that nigga on the way down.
Because there's always the Darryl version.
That's what I heard.
Like, that's what I heard. I heard we was fucking niggas.
Listen, that's what I.
There's more than one way to survive.
Oh my God.
I liked every version of that statement.
That's so good. I'm now developing, the more and more I get to know Darryl, I am developing this like almost like movie scene recurring image of like the three of us just now were in a fight, right? And like Miriam and I stop to like just look and take notice of what's happening. And like Darryl's like in the corner stripping down like this not, I thought y'all said
on the way down, we're taking them down.
Like, no.
I heard that. Hey yo.
There is nothing wrong.
Oh.
Listen, every man my grandmother's ever loved, she's fucked up. She's fought. So
yes, Grandma.
I believe we learned to love the best person who taught us to love.
That is a color purple.
Honestly, like, and I was thinking about it a couple of because I think my sophomore year of undergrad I bought my first blade, and my friends were all like, are you crazy? Do you know how to work that? Like, someone's going to take that and use it against you. And for me, it was the normalest thing in the world because, like, every woman in my family has, like, I shouldn't put this on the air. Every woman in my family has killed someone, and it stops at me and my sister. You know, like, and I don't know if that's a symbol of class status or I just don't know what the fuck about to happen. All I know is I'm gonna survive.
Yes.
That's a beautiful legacy to come from. I think that's a beautiful legacy.
I just feel like I want to grow up and go get my first blade. I didn't.
I can order you one. Like,
thanks.
I owe you a birthday present.
Can it be cute?
Oh my god, I should show you mine. It's so cute.
I would love a blade.
I love this.
Yay.
I'm excited.
Over blades.
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah, no, I think as a kid, I just always like, again, I was like ridiculously small because like I didn't like food, whatever. I'm also from a short people. Like my whole family is like short. So I just always took the survival tactic of like, I was always the kid that like older or bigger girl. First of all, I was like young for my grade. And I was the kind of kid that older or bigger girls always wanted to like take under their wing as like their little sister or their daughter. And so I just was like, okay, my friend is 6 feet. I'm cool.
Yes.
And that worked for 12 years.
Tell yourself I'm the bigger girl.
Right. And so I never had an opportunity to get a blade. And I feel like it's time to grow up.
It's time. Listen, rebirths.
Look.
Yes.
I did used to have a stun gun.
Okay.
I need to find that.
They were selling cute powder pink ones on Amazon.
Oh,
yeah.
This one was cute at the time because it looked like what cell phones looked like at the time. So it looked like you're just like walking down the street with your cell phone, but it's so old and outdated now.
People be like,
People be
like, ma'am.
Sis.
that's
ma'am.
Like,
you're fooling no
either
one.
this is stun gun or a safe link. Either way.
You don't take this zap back in the house.
girl. If you don't.
I feel like weaponry has evolved as well.
So I need to upgrade. I mean, I also used to carry, I think, mace. I can't remember like where I was in my life where these things were like essential. It was like I was walking long distances to my car in the dark on a regular basis.
I feel like it's life.
Look, my little 12-year-old 9-pound Maltese dog. I was walking him once. And I don't remember how I didn't hear, like I had just turned my back and I didn't hear this man like walk up behind me onto my porch. When I tell you, that baby went off.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have working teeth. But he went off like his mama does.
Yes.
And that man was like, oh, my bad. I just, and then like he like left.
Yeah, I bet the fuck you was.
I bet.
Just like,
Look, my dog was like, let me tell you what's not going to happen on
Not
today.
Yes.
You don't know I don't have teeth.
all 9 pounds. You're about to get all 9 pounds, nigga.
Gummed down.
I don't even know if that baby knows he don't have teeth.
What? That's not what I meant.
You require so much supervision.
I really do.
Really
I don't understand why people think that I have graduated enough to like take care of myself. Because I can't.
I mean,
By the sounds of it, you certainly take
I was
care
going
of
to say, I
others.
think but I think you take good care of yourself. Because I think even acknowledging, like, this is a day that I need to not.
Yes. That's a life skill.
Yeah.
Also, your teeth are so white and pretty, and I can't stop looking at them.
I know. And he has really healthy gums.
Yes. Oh, let us see.
No, I'm not on the auction block
You know,
unless you're trying to buy. Like,
I would like to suggest one, because you asked for my advice on this. I think something that you could add to your self-care regimen. I never know if it's regimen or regiment.
It's regimen.
I can fucks with that.
Okay.
Regimen. Yeah.
I just say it fast so that people can't tell that I don't know.
Same. That's how I got through most of my life.
Look,
Say academia.
I think one thing that you could add is whole underwear. I think
So we've returned. The past and the future.
You let
merged
me in.
together.
I did. Oh, you were so ready. Your body was so ready.
And that's why my soul just got yanked and gripped and balled up.
It's
Just
good for
like
you.
your draws at one point.
Look,
At one
At several points.
I'm trying to like not squirm now.
Look.
Jesus.
telling
Listen.
you, it's good
You're
for
right,
you.
actually. I'm not going to lie. I feel like I have a whole... That's definitely a part of... No, really it is. Like, that's definitely a part of the self-care like tactic for me. Usually it's always new bedding. Like for this year, especially if I was going through anything stressful, new bedding.
Yes.
And that's also because I would soil the sheets with
with your
semen.
coping mechanism.
Yes. And this like industrial lube that I use, like this imported German lube that I love. I love it.
Oh,
I think you should tell the people.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not paying us, but I think that's important.
Like, I also need to know.
Also.
Send me the link.
For science.
I'll think about it. I'll think about it because I don't know if I want everybody to use it.
Selfish. Can you at least tell us?
Selfish.
I can tell y'all.
Okay.
Just text
but
me.
it would turn my sheets into just like a giant oil slick, and there was no redeeming that. And no amount of sexy in my life allows me to invite a man to my room and there be a giant stain. And well, that's not true actually at all. But
about to say, hold on now.
yeah, that's not true at all.
Wait a minute.
I'm trying to be a better grown up.
Yes.
So, like, it was for maybe like 3 or 4 months of this year. I was buying new sheets every week.
Yes.
So
Sounds
I'm
like
gonna,
a good run to me.
Yes.
this has been like, okay, so 2017 for me, and I think for most people, has been like a slow burning dumpster fire. And I also have had really good sex this year.
Yes.
And I think those things are definitely connected. One, because I think that I think guys can smell when you're wounded, and they circle,
They do.
and they're like, oh, you're fucked up. You want some dick? Yes, I am, and yes, I do. Yes, I am, and yes, I do.
I just death dropped. Holy hell.
And it's real though, because when it was like a moment where 2017 it was not a dumpster fire for like maybe 3 days in May. And then it came back. I was like, oh, you thought this was over? Gasoline.
Gotcha.
And so, yes. But I'm telling you, all this year has been like amazing fucking sex. And I think it's also truly because like my self-care this year has stepped up like monumentally. So I've definitely been loving myself more and better than I ever have in my life.
Yes.
And so I think it's like this confluence of like being like disabled on one hand because, you know, the fucking fire of 2017, like guys being able to smell that because guys are
Sharks
predatory.
and can smell open nose.
Yes.
And then also just like me demanding more out of my body and out of my life and out of the guys who enter my body, those things.
Yes.
So it's like, it's an interesting mix. So like my sex has been incredible and plentiful. Lord Jesus.
If there's a takeaway from this episode, it is demand more out of those who enter your body.
Yes.
Like that even sounds biblical.
You have
doesn't
to
it?
though.
Yes.
And not in that, and I was introduced to it through
New
Hoteps. The newest. I was introduced to it to Hotep, so I don't know if this is like logic that carries over. But I do think it's a truth. Like, even if it's like a new age frou-frou sense, like the people who enter your space and then also enter your body, like they leave a charge. Like they leave stuff on you.
Oh no, I
Yeah.
believe that.
Yeah, I definitely do.
It took me a while to believe that.
Me too.
But I'm here. I am here with it.
But dear God.
It's real. Because like fucking with the wrong people will fuck you up. And then fucking with the right people will set you on some high. So it's like, it's definitely real. Like when I started to become much more cognizant, one, about who I physically let into my space. Like my apartment for me is like a womb. It is a shelter. And part of it, I'm a Taurus, so home is always going to be something for us. But for me, it's like, that's where I go. Like if the world is crazy, I'm going to close my damn door. You might not see me for the weekend, or for the week, but I want to be okay. It's going to be incense. It's going to be like my vidster. It's going to be weed. It's going to be...
Yes.
And then I'll invite friends over and like we'll vibe. And like I'll refill that space with good energy. And so when I took that same philosophy to the space of my body, like my starfish and shit,
Yes.
like if you are trying to come in me, and I mean that in multiple ways, then like you have to offer something that's more than just like, on some level, just the experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, it's not enough to just be neutral. It's not.
You better take your shoes off for you into this house.
Yes.
Don't be tracking mud in here.
Look.
That condom off, too.
You know what?
All right, Darryl.
You go so far. I'm telling you, it's that quintessential moment in the film.
Where I always pick I make the wrong turn.
Like the three of us are like the Powerpuff Femmes, and like and like me and Rhythm are just like whooping ass, and then we look over and Daryl's like in the middle of the sky, whole dick just swinging.
This not what we was doing.
thought we was taking a break.
I need a break.
Fighting is a lot.
It is.
I already rolled the blunt.
So shit. Y'all want some?
It's funny though, because when you earlier in the week when you asked, I feel like I'm like exaggerating. Was that like yesterday? It feels like it was so long ago.
Everything's a blur.
Everything's a blur when your life is in shambles.
Yes.
We're in a floating rock toward the sun. We're all
Yes.
When you asked me, you asked me what what have you done for what are you doing for yourself? Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I bought new sheets last night. Does that count? And you were like, yes, but that was yesterday. But the buying of those sheets,
yes.
Like, I don't know. I don't even know what, because I hadn't heard you say that before. I don't even know what took me to that place. I mean, I do need new sheets, but I'm moving in 2 weeks, so I could have very well just bought new sheets then.
Yeah.
But something about like,
You need a new sheet.
I was just like, oh.
It's a treat for yourself.
This will fix everything.
It definitely helps.
There's also something very important about like where you lay your head to recharge your body.
Yes.
Like,
it's funny because a friend who Miriam knows, one of my children, had stayed at my place a couple of weeks ago. Actually, last month when I went to New Orleans, they stayed at my place to like watch my dog, and I had a crock pot in the refrigerator. And he sent me a text and was like, so I cleaned your crock pot. It like has stuff growing on it. Like, how did it get to that point? And I was
Don't
like,
question my life.
LOL depression. Anyway, moving along.
right. Thank you and moving on.
Yes. Don't ask me questions like that, but
And
thank
it
you for cleaning
was so
it.
funny because he really wanted to like explore it and have a conversation about it. And I was just like, I have nothing. And it's funny because I thought of that when you were talking about like home and like wanting to go. And like I do the opposite. Like I'm just like, I avoid home. Like I feed my dog and walk him, and then I'm just like, gotta go. And then my place is in shambles like my life is. And then my solution to that is not to clean the place up. It's just to move.
Yes. That sounds like a perfect solution to me.
I'm like, just throw everything away, burn it all down, and leave.
Yeah.
And then you can start over.
Get a new house. Throw it all away.
You have the illusion of new beginnings. It's fine.
Yes.
Yes.
Sometimes you need that fucking illusion. Don't let nobody rob you of that goddamn illusion.
Amen.
Look, sometimes the illusion is all you have, and you just have to take that and run with it. So yes, I'm moving for new beginnings.
Yes, sometimes the illusion is all you have. Yes. Motherfuckers ask me on the day, what do you bring to the table? Listen, sometimes the illusion
is all you got.
Okay, that's all I'm giving you right now.
Look.
You get the solution.
Look.
Okay.
So now my crock pot is clean.
I wish somebody would.
Shout out to good friends.
Look, I'm not gonna cook in it again until I move.
Good friends and elbow grease. That's all we need.
Look.
If somebody clean my crock pot, that's marriage.
Look, the funny thing about that is, and I'm not this extreme with a crock pot, but had that been like a regular pot and it was like older, who's to say I would have just thrown it in the trash?
Oh, I've thrown away three pots or pans this week, and I was like, I'm not scrubbing this.
I'm not. No.
There's a failed baking project that is in my fridge that I refuse to even address. It's been there for 2 weeks.
Buried. It's buried.
Going
Leave it alone.
to address it.
Leave it alone.
Whatever. It's like nice. It's like Pyrex. Fuck it. Shorty chalked.
It'll be fine.
Look.
There you go.
Chalked. Okay.
That's real.
I'm not gonna face this failure. What do you mean face my failure? You thought I was grown? Nigga, no.
Absolutely
Where's
not.
my icy?
Look. Oh, you guys, I feel so at home.
In the midst of the chaos.
Look.
That's home for me.
The only home I've ever known, TBH.
Look.
We don't talk about it.
And so my new place has a dishwasher. So I feel like chaos will present itself in a different way now, and I'll at least just
totally
have
will.
clean pots.
Look out for your hamper.
Oh,
No, for me, it comes with the dishwasher because I have the dishwasher, and I could easily load the dishwasher and easily do dishes, or I could just let the dishes pile up in the sink,
Look.
and then have dirty dishes on the dishwasher that I didn't address yet.
Look.
Like, it's easy to not care.
Yeah, it is. And I just wish my not caring manifested in a different way.
Like responsible, healthy decision making.
No, not even that.
Like your credit score, like mine?
Nope. I got that.
Okay. That's how mine not can manifest.
No, I mean, but yes. So like a credit score, but not. just in a way that like, and I'm working on this. Like I do want home to be like safe and beautiful and comforting and like not like further shambles. So I would just like for whatever like shambles to like manifest itself in like a different way. Like not hygiene either. I can't think of one that would be acceptable, but like still poor, but like more comfortable.
And these are all cute dreams until we realize that like lamps are like fucking $60 and shit, and that we'll never really have a home.
Is free. Moonlight is fucking free.
Look,
The light in the hallway is free.
Look.
You better read that book under the slit in the front door and make it work.
I already paid his phone bill. I'm gonna cue up this flashlight. Okay, I'm gonna cue this shit up.
look.
You know what smells good and provides lights? Candles.
Yes.
And one thing I love about my apartment is that it has a fireplace.
Ooh, I'm coming over, Zaddy.
Come on, let's
Yes.
make it work. And one thing I love about this season is the fact that I can just get wood, and you can get it from a lot of places around here, and just I just start a fire, and I'll sit by the fire. If I want s'mores, I have like a s'mores fork and shit.
Oh my god, Zaddy.
We coming over.
Make it work, and we can have some like warm apple cider with like
I love. I
Did we
always
have Christmas
put, yeah.
episode?
Let's make it. I'm here.
Can I just say, so two things. One, yes for burning wood. So I don't have a fireplace in the old place or the new place. New place I really can't afford, so I might be homeless like in a couple months. It's fine.
I'll join you.
Like we can like all split up a cardboard box and like
Yes.
Yes, make a road show.
Make
That's what
it
we'll call
cute.
it.
because I'm low key already there. We don't have to talk about it.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
I'm not projecting.
Everything's fine.
I'm not projecting.
But I really like, so I do burn incense. I do burn candles. I feel like I just gave you like a bunch of sage because previously I was like, I don't really like the smell of it. But like suddenly I'm really into it. But my favorite thing to burn is Palo Santo, which I think I brought to you the first time I came to your place. Because I was like, here, it's a gift.
I love.
That's so responsible
I
and
love
adultish
it.
and mature.
It really
I felt
is.
like it was really cute. I felt cute that day.
What a grown up.
And
I'm
it was such a
trying.
great experience.
I'm trying. It's like dirty crock pot in the fridge, but here's some Palo Santo. So I do. I like that. I like the smell. I like the burning of wood. I like, and that really is self-care for me. Is like filling a space with like things that smell good.
Yes.
So like my crock pot is like a science project in the fridge, but that's fine because you don't sleep in the fridge.
No.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter.
So
And
just
it's
make
not
the
like we
bedroom
cooking
smell
anyway.
good. Look,
Let's not pretend like we're real grown ups.
No, it's not.
I'm not cooking.
No.
Cue up Uber Eats right now.
look, burn some Palo Santo, put on these fresh sheets, and life is fine.
Yes,
And the illusion is all we need.
That's all we need.
So I guess if we were going to sum up the segment, then, self-care is an illusion. But it's fine because the illusion is all we need.
It's fine.
It's fine. I'm
Everything's
not
fine.
projecting.
Just keep swimming.
Is the house on fire? I didn't know this was on fire. Is it?
Nothing. I don't smell smoke. No,
It's Palo
that's not
Santo.
smoke. It's Palo Santo.
No, you gotta leave it
If
with
my
her.
house goes up in flames, then I guess I'm gonna light a blunt.
I know that's the help. See, that's
Don't waste the
honestly
fire.
one thing I love about being black, and it's definitely a byproduct, I think, of just our experience. But black people have this innate, I want to call it innate, like an innate ability to like create laughter out of tragedy.
Yes.
Black people have this. It's definitely like, I think, a racial resiliency.
Yes.
And it's meaningful. And like I learned a lot of that from my mom. Like I would be worked up. My mom would be like, "Is your crying going to fix this tonight?"
Yes.
It's like, no. Well, then save your tears. Like save it for another time.
You gonna need 'em.
Yeah. So it's like, but tonight, just take the time you have and choose to be better or choose to be happy.
Yes.
And learning that, maybe it's displacement, but learning that though is beautiful though, because it does teach you in so many ways. Like, you're going to have to just dance through it. You're going to have to learn to love through it. You're going to have to learn to laugh through it, fuck through it. And when the answer comes, an answer will come. But until
Yes.
that point, you still got to live. You still got to survive.
That's real.
And that's like I think like that's how we learn to joke about our trauma, and that's like, you know, how we get through a lot of shit, and that's how you have modules like Black Twitter.
Yes.
All of them jokes is just about trauma, and that shit is fucking hilarious
because it is such a common currency.
Yes.
It is like it's our most common currency is trauma and humor.
Yes, and I think there's power in giving voice to that, right? Like there is power in, you know, admitting that you're like nearly homeless, or you got holes in your drawers, or because giving that voice then helps you find your people.
Yes, it does.
And your people are like, oh, your shambles look like that. My shambles look like this. We're both in shambles. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. It's a fun time.
Let's burn some Palo Santo. It's fine. Yeah, I think too often we, or let me say, just I, suffer in that, just that, like, trying to keep going.
Yeah.
Just like, especially in knowing that there are things that need to get done.
Yes.
You know, like, I'm moving in 2 weeks. I should pack a box, whatever. But like it needs to get done, right? So like I can
it will get done,
right?
And
I can take this moment to like be stressed out, and then I need to go pack this box. And that was what actually finally like sort of talked me down. Was a moment earlier today when I was like, "It's gonna get done."
Yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna get done.
It's fine. You're fine.
It's gonna get done. But like, I can watch 3 episodes of Grey's Anatomy in the meantime. That's fine.
And I'm going to
look,
and I will,
because that's the reality. It's going to happen,
right?
All that I need to figure out is what I need to tell myself to be okay with the fact that it is going to happen.
Right.
So shout out to coping.
Yes,
shout out
but that's real though. Coping is like fucking, that's self-care.
It is.
I know so many people who don't know how to really cope, or rather who are coping, but because they have not mastered it, it comes out in ways that they cannot direct and get the best energy from.
Like me making these jokes and me like doing this shit is me coping by not hurting anybody else.
Yes.
And I feel like motherfuckers who have not learned how to cope do it by hurting other people.
Yes.
And you know, they do things like, you know, getting into relationships just to harm something. I'm not projecting, but I'm saying it happens.
Let's make it work.
You know?
I already have my earrings off. I'm just saying.
And I got a whole bag of bricks.
Hey, we're on air, okay? We're on air. I don't have lawyer money. I don't have lawyer money.
I love you.
This is for Miriam.
I'm not saying I'm above it. I'm not saying
black
I'm below
send
it.
their regard.
Yes.
I've always wanted to like be a stick man like that. Let's make it work.
Hey guys, knock knock.
Who's there?
Stability.
Who that?
Stability.
Exactly. So I think that's a good enough segue. Into our host story.
Yes.
Of the episode.
So while Miriam is pulling up the host story to read to you guys, to you folks, I'm trying to stop saying guys. If
Good
I don't
practice.
mean guys.
Good practice.
So while Miriam is pulling that up, I think it's a great opportunity to say people have been listening and sharing and interacting with the Twitter, which is
at 3 Black Femmes. That is the number 3 Black Femmes, FEMMES.
Interacting with our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/3 Black Femmes. And people have also been emailing us.
Yes.
Our email is the number 3 blackfemmes@gmail.com.
Yes.
So we just want to say thank you because we appreciate it. And I know for me, like seeing like the stats and like the number of times people have been listening to stuff has been like,
that makes me feel so happy.
Yes, it is. That is self-care.
Yes, it is.
Fam, yes, it is. I looked at the listens today and I was like, oh my God.
People like me.
People like me. They like me, or at least they like to laugh at me.
Yes.
Which is sort of like
I'm
the kids in
taking it
preschool. But
Look, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. Either way, y'all listen.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that.
Laugh at me, but this time it's validation.
Yes.
As opposed to grade school.
As opposed to yesterday. Fuck grade school. I need a daily dose of affirmation.
So please keep listening and telling your friends and interacting with our page by if you want to contact us, you can email us. Or you can go to our website, which is
3blackfemmes.com.
Yes. And so you can interact with us anonymously there. And it works because people have done it.
And it's been hella
So yeah, you can do that. You can submit your host stories or what else do we do? Oh, like if you just want to get dragged, or like if you want like genuine advice.
All of it.
We can't give any guarantees about what kind of response.
Oh yeah, we'll drag you on air and then wash our hands of it.
Yeah, so
but if you want a perspective like that,
but it's anonymous, it's fine. So our first letter.
So we have a host story.
Host story.
I'm really excited to read our first like listener host story.
Host stories.
So this whole story begins, and I'll use my best like theater thespian kid voice.
Yes.
Subject, we'll make it quick. I was fucking one of my English professors. She's a grad student, 2 years older than me. It's cool. We were discreet because of university policy and because my pussy is my business.
Yes.
Anywho, I was fucking one of her sorors that's in grad school at our university.
I was gonna like make guesses about
Which sorority?
I just want to say probably not Delta. Anyway, moving on.
That makes me so sad. If this were my fanfic, it would be Delta. I shouldn't expose myself. Hey, Delta friends. 215.
Oh, yes.
Anyway, they weren't super close because they crossed at different chapters, but of course they knew each other. The soror invited me to a gala that the regional chapter was hosting. I agreed because who doesn't love a long fitted dress and free champagne?
Yes.
I bring it up to Professor Bay to see if she's still going. She says no. I'm in the clear and we don't got to worry about any run-ins.
That's not what that means.
It's not how any of this works.
Not what that
This
means.
person had high hopes and bright ideas.
That should have been like the red flag.
She probably got a crock pot in her fridge with all kind of things growing over.
The illusion is enough.
Girl.
Day of the gala comes. Me and the soror are mingling and sipping, and guess who I see in the distance?
Of course you do.
Look.
Professor Bay.
Of course you do.
Long story short, she sees me, approaches us, and speaks. She was polite. She wasn't shocked. Nothing. Meanwhile, my heart beating like fuck. About 20 minutes later, she shoots me a text and says, "Meet me in the ladies' restroom, please."
Ooh.
I excuse myself
Yes.
in front of the group of people I'm entertaining and make my way to the restroom. I walk in and see Professor Bay and her soror.
Oh.
Who I'm here on a date with.
Yes. This is so
What
messy.
happens next? What happens next?
Mess.
I'm thinking to myself, damn bitch, why the fuck you out here getting caught up?
Yes. Like, where's the exit in your relationship
Right, like,
where you are?
like, what would you do? Like, you walk in and you see both of them, like,
I turn around. No.
Walk back up out of there.
Yeah, wrong place.
I'm
Sorry.
too fucking bored. I would be like, what's my line? To my surprise, Professor Bay tells me to lift up my dress.
Yes.
You wouldn't even, what?
And at first,
Already
I'm like,
lifted.
I walk in naked on some Darryl shit.
I was gonna say, which goes back to Darryl's response to fighting, is like, take off my dress.
Why not?
I guess I take it off my dress. And I'm like, no, what the fuck type shit? But her soror chimes in and says, we'll make it quick. We? Yes, we. By the way, reader, listener. Yes, we.
This is the freak shit gods. Bowing.
This is a fanfic I wrote. Like, this is really just my erotic friend fiction, actually.
The whole podcast is like Miriam's outlet for her fanfic. We don't even know this. Miriam's going onto the website and submitting it, quote unquote, anonymously. And we so stupid.
This is not even a real listener submission. This is my erotic friend fiction. Listen, listener, if you submitted this, can you please email 3blackfemmes@gmail.com with the subject Miriam. Let's link, sis. Let's build. Because I don't know how you live in my fantasy.
Right?
We gotta build, sis. I lifted that $59.99 dress right the fuck out. Come on, Fashion Nova.
Yeah.
And Professor Bay was in the front while her soror was tasting the back.
Oh, my God.
Amen. amen. The church said amen. Of course, a bitch couldn't feel her legs and shit, but I walked back to the room where the gala was being held as gracefully as I could
like
and
a
took
lady.
my seat. Yes. Yes.
I would just went home. I'm sorry. I'm done. I got my nut. I'll see y'all later.
Bye.
That was a month ago. I've been trying to see where the three of us are going to do something. 4 of us. Email me.
The number 3, blackfems@gmail.com.
Listen, throw me in a mix. I'm trying to be in a mix.
Yes.
That's a little less sporadic and more planned, and I just got my answer. Ooh. Tennessee cabin trip. Thanksgiving break, bitch.
I like to think that this is exactly why this country was founded. This is why the soldiers are fighting for our rights around the globe. So that way you can get your cho-cha licked in Tennessee.
Yes, over the Thanksgiving break.
Yes.
Okay.
Take me to
If you would like
place.
a menu of things to eat while this is all going on, I can be your friend.
I would like some yams on Thanksgiving. Me, myself, and I
This is
am interested in getting some yams. Listen, so listener, this is your assignment. You have a 2-part homework assignment. Your first is to email 3 Black Femmes. Ooh.
She got so excited.
I got a little flustered. Ooh, what is words? Your first is to email 3blackfems@gmail.com with the subject line Miriam. I will reply with my Instagram name, and then you just see where we want to go from there. And the second the second is to, after your Thanksgiving trip to Tennessee, you have to send us a follow-up.
You have to.
Yeah, we need to.
You gotta send us a follow-up, boo.
I am very invested in this story already, mostly because I am fantasizing.
Yes.
I'm going to go onto my Vista tonight and type in Gala Bay, Gala threesomes, because now I have an image in my head.
That evening gown image did some things.
That's hot. That's very hot.
That is hot.
I'm sorry. It's walking into the bathroom and they both standing there just...
Yes.
This is straight out of a page from my erotic fan fiction.
And that to me, because I would have been dreaming of that anyway. One of my things is that I always dream of group sex, and I don't know if that's a condition or
Is it just a dream for you though?
It's not. But it all starts with the vision.
Yes.
So I feel like you just can't I mean, if you want a threesome, you have to put that energy out into the universe.
That's right.
So
No more word magic.
You do.
Out there.
When I have friends, and not all friends, but generally if I have friends, I want to have thoughts or ideas of all of us just having sex. And in the past, that was always the truth. I'm trying to be an adult now and not have sex with all of my friends and having to recycle friend circles every 3 years.
Yeah.
So, I'm making better decisions. But I would have already been wanting that to happen anyway. And for me to walk into the bathroom, I would have thought that I was dead. This was God being like, you're in heaven now. Get it done.
Yes.
And I would have been that's beautiful.
I'm fine with that.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Whereas you've been living dreams and realities of group sex, if we visit episode 2, I've just been living dreams of it. And what becomes of a dream deferred,
You're going to have an explosive group sex session. That's my goal for you.
You better speak that into my...
I am.
That's the plot twist of 2017.
Yes.
That's my 2017 plot
Y'all
twist.
so beautiful.
It is still it's time and it's opportunity for plot twists.
Listen.
We're going to end this year out good.
What God has for me is for me.
That's right.
Okay? I know without a doubt.
That's right.
That he will bring me out.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, yes. I really felt that.
Oh, he's coming in a Hyundai. He tied my red bow tie.
Y'all going to hell.
Take this mic away
It wasn't
from
me, God. It wasn't me. I don't know them.
If I'm going to be there, let there be some big dick trade.
Oh my God.
So this is terrible.
Come on with it now.
Yes.
Did either of you watch the Coven season of American Horror Story?
Yes.
So I often wonder, I had a conversation recently, and this is how I know, at least in this moment, I'm partnered with the right person. Because we were watching that, and then we had the conversation, on the show,
I'm already loving this conversation.
the hell, everybody's individual hell is based on their worst thing ever, right? And so what if your heaven is that? People picture heaven as this one big place and everybody's up there playing cards together, but what if it really is that individualized and heaven is like pork chops and D for one person.
Yes. I want in on that one.
What if you like get your own
That's like Monday heaven.
thing, right? And like you do get to interact. So like the three of us, clearly we make it to heaven. And
obviously we're saints and we're going right to heaven.
obviously. And like we see each other in passing, like in the hallways and stuff, and interact, but like in our own little separate like heaven apartments. It's like our like own little individual.
I'm like, nobody can come into your heaven apartment,
right?
So like no one knows what's in your heaven,
right?
I can mess with this.
My heaven is just like bags on bags of honey cheese curls, and like Beyonce's self-titled album playing again and again.
Repeat.
Listening to Partition covered in hot sauce and honey cheese curls.
Just when you think it could get no better,
Look,
you found another plateau. You found another
I
level.
roll up the partition blade.
I'm telling you, like it could really be like that. Like I think I'm just gonna move forward in life with the notion that that's what heaven is like.
Now that'll make you do right.
Look,
It'll make you do wrong too.
So what would your hell be though?
Mine is group sex either way, so mine is covered. Mine is covered.
I wasn't ready.
Oh God!
I
So
wasn't
I feel like
ready.
either way, I'm good.
Oh Jesus, Jesus Lord!
I think my hell is so I have a recurring nightmare that's really not even like, and this is how like personal and individualized it is, because I feel like for the average person it would be fine, but like for me it's a nightmare. I have two recurring nightmares. One, I am suddenly in high school, like in my 30s, in high school.
I don't got the emotional strain.
Look,
Listen,
and there's like a final exam for this class that I'm realizing now I haven't attended in what, like 18 years? And I'm like panicking, and like everybody else in the class is like, what's wrong, sis?
yeah.
And I'm like, I haven't been here.
Like 18.
Y'all been meeting every Tuesday for 18. I don't even know why I still have, like, I made fine grades in school. I don't know why I have that. I have that dream like maybe once a month. The other one, I know why I have it. And my current job has kind of made it like resurface. Buildings where like elevators or stairs don't go to all the floors. I have a recurring nightmare where like I'm just trying to get to this one place and the stairs that I keep taking
Won't lead you there.
Oh my God! I'm so scared.
It's so scary. It really is.
That's terrifying.
And it's real life. And I remember my first day at this job that I'm at now. Somebody was like walking me around and they were like, oh, but if you want to go to the second floor. And I was just like, oh. No. They're like, oh, you gotta go to the elevator for that because the stairs don't go to the second. I mean, they go there, but the door don't open.
No.
Yeah.
Why you gotta Jimmy Rake the elevator and stairs?
So that would be my personal hell. Would probably be the steps, or that like I finally think that I made it to the floor I'm trying to get to, and I just end up walking into that class that I haven't been going to for the last 18 years.
God, no.
That would be my personal hell.
My hell is IHOP, but sober. It's sober IHOP, and I keep getting emails, and the subject line is just the name of my supervisor with all of their accolades behind it. Like an old supervisor of mine would just send emails, and the subject line would be from name of supervisor, MA, BA, MHS, director of so and so, and I'm like, sis,
Oh my God.
this is a 3-person office. I know who the fuck
I know who
you are.
Sharon. I see you, Sharon. I see you typing
Listen,
right
Claire.
now. Yes.
I'm looking at you.
Also, you don't have to email me, Claire. Just yell. I can
say
hear
it.
you because
We're right
we have
here.
2 rooms. Because we're poor. We're a non-profit, Claire. We're a non-profit.
Was this that we got you?
This was that we got y'all.
That's exactly where my mind went.
Oh,
I worked at We Got Y'all, y'all. I keep working at different versions of We Got Y'all, and this is at my
Shit.
last version of We Got Y'all.
that sounds like a personal hell.
Yes.
We Got Y'all was a personal hell. To not having another bag of off-brand chips. You know, I'm not going to get too detailed.
I used to be so offended when people let out bags of off-brand chips. I used to be so offended.
You know what the fuck? Okay, at this last We Got Y'all, they did a thing where whenever someone left, they would throw them, and I'm getting way too detailed, they throw them a going away, like a farewell dinner, brunch, not dinner. It's fucking nonprofit. A farewell lunch, and it would be like pizza and grapes or some shit, and like we would all have to like stand up there and like get slices of pizza and pour some like sparkling cider and like pretend like we liked each other when we all know like you don't fuck with me, boy, like you don't like me. When I come to you about some shit regarding my job, you don't want to talk to me. Like, don't talk to me over
about this pizza.
It's pizza and it's pepperoni. I can't even fucking eat it. I'm just up here.
Yes.
I'm just up here picking pepperonis off like a fucking weirdo. Sad as shit.
Dabbing off the pepperoni grease.
Sad as shit eating grapes. So it was like when I announced when I gave notice, I think I told
These
someone there.
I'm sorry.
Here's the plot twist. I told someone there, I was like, listen, because I got super candid after I gave notice, and this is me, I process in public and I overshare. I was like, if you have any control in whether or not they do this, make sure that they don't do this for me. Like, I don't want pizza, I don't want grapes, I don't want to hang out with you. And they were like, okay. But instead of just not doing it and letting me like leave silently, instead of like, killing me with mercy, they brought me upstairs for it. Like, oh, a surprise. It's not a surprise, sis. You do this every time. And it's like every 2 weeks too, because the turnaround rate. Miriam, don't share. They bring me up there, and these motherfuckers got me Popeyes. They was like, we gonna send this ratchet ass bitch off.
Send her off right.
That's the only good thing they did for
That's
me.
beautiful.
That is beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Right?
I wish Popeyes fried something like seitan or tofu.
It would be so lit.
What?
Stop.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna do it together. We're gonna have a vegan feast.
Yes.
And Miriam's not invited.
No, I am invited.
No, Miriam's alone.
I'm gonna bring my own Popeyes. I'm gonna let y'all feast, and I'm gonna have my $5 big box, 2-piece spicy.
That's self-care.
Red beans and rice.
Yes.
I had been searching for red beans and rice recipes all week, but I want like authentic.
I'm gonna come over.
We're gonna make this work because I need like.
But
really
is it gonna
good
be vegan red beans and rice?
Yes, it's gonna be great. It's fine.
Are you also vegan?
I'm not. I'm vegetarian, but one of the resolutions I'm making for myself is to transition to veganism and actually do it.
Yes, come
You guys
on
are gonna
over,
live so
Daddy.
much longer than me.
It's fine.
It's probably how it should be.
I hope
I
not.
mean,
I'm done.
you kind of have a head start on us anyway, so we will then still probably die at the same time. It's fine.
So it all works out.
It all works out.
I love ruminating on death. Party.
Like 30 more years of this nonsense.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I think we should end it here on a great positive note.
Yes.
Longevity in this economy?
Say what? So yeah, hit us up.
If you want to talk about Popeyes
Yeah.
or mortality,
It's fine.
It's fine. Or host stories. We really prefer host stories.
We
But
do.
if you want to throw a note in there about mortality and Popeyes, then
Then it's fine. Email us, tweet us.
unless you're texting us, not texting, goddammit, unless you're emailing us to nag us, then damn it, listen, I know my diet gonna kill me, okay? I'm here for a good time, not a long time. The fuck?
I feel like that's the only useful Drake quote ever.
It really is.
Oh my gosh.
Bye.
Oh, wait. Did we tell them where to follow us? Oh, we did that earlier.
did.
Okay.
All the things.
Okay, well.
I'm done.
Bye.
Bye.